What's up, guys? How's it going? Back with another video. It is not Sunday night once again. It is currently Monday night, so I think I failed to actually record one of these on a Sunday yet. That'll be monumental when it happens. But I hope y'all are doing well. I'm doing pretty well. It's a bit brisk out, but it is what it is. Something I kind of wanted to talk about today is kind of a reference that is, something that's commonly referred to, and it's a saying of whether comparison is the killer of all joy or aspiration. You could even ask if it's the killer of achievement. I think this statement has some validity in the fact that comparing yourself to others who are constantly accomplishing more than you is no doubt going to knock you off a pedestal. You're not going to think that you've really done anything if you're looking at all these spectacular accomplishments. And I think this can kind of be knocked down in the fact that, hey, maybe they're dedicating everything they've got to this. They're achieving this one thing in some area that you're not committing nearly as much time to. It only makes sense for you to be at a lesser stage in this thing's progression than they are. But this is something that's, I know for a fact it's knocked a lot of people down, including myself, of looking at others and introspectively analyzing what you're doing in a negative way. And I think comparison in itself is not necessarily the killer of all this achievement that someone's having. I think, on the contrary, it's actually the jealousy of this. And that's okay. I think it's natural to be jealous of what others are able to produce in certain aspects of life compared to you. But I don't think it's necessarily comparison. Because if you're simply comparing yourself to another, no matter how you look at it, it's just going to push you to be better. If you see someone doing better than you and you're not jealous about it, you may even be happy for them. It's just going to push you to excel more in certain areas. And that's not necessarily a knock on achievement. It's really just pushing you in particular to do more. So I think this comparison saying is really just one of jealousy. And it's completely natural for someone to feel like that. But I think having the saying of comparison is the killer of all achievement or joy almost acts as an excuse. And let me explain this, because I think once you get to the bottom of it being an excuse, it almost kind of helps the person struggling with this. I know it's vague right now, but try and follow me. I got kind of an idea of what I'm saying. So, if you say that the comparison of one to another is what kills the lesser one's joy and achievement in a certain area of life, so let's say I'm comparing myself to some guy my age who's whatever, in the G League, in the NBA. And I'm like, man, that really could have been me. I think that is the jealousy aspect. And people that say it kills your joy, just comparison, I think that's just an excuse. Because if you look at it in that way, like, hey, I shouldn't be comparing myself to this other person if I want to have joy or achievement, that's an entirely wrong way of looking at things. I think by doing this, you're kind of admitting that you're worse than someone by comparing yourself to them or not comparing yourself to them and having this excuse that, hey, if I were to look at other people's achievements and compare them to my own, it's bad for me. And I think that's nonsense, to be honest. I think you should constantly be comparing yourself to others, what they're doing, the routes they're taking, and the things they're able to achieve. And sure, jealousy might come along with this. And I think that naturally is going to light something inside you just to strive more to do things. So, at the same time, this could be flipped on a head, and it's just like, hey, if you're comparing yourself to someone lesser accomplished than you, like let's say I'm in the G League for the NBA, for those of you who don't know, it's kind of a feeder system. I'm comparing myself to someone my age who is, not in school, definitely not in the G League, and he's just doing nothing. I could be like, hey, look at me. I'm way better than this guy. And that's also a wrong way to look at things. I mean, you have to be jealous of someone. And that sounds wrong to say because jealousy is generally looked at with a negative connotation, but you always have more things that you can accomplish and do, and not just sports, obviously. In life, there's more rungs to the pedestal that you're climbing, and by looking up and comparing yourself to others, but looking to do better rather than letting this knock you down, I think that's the way to almost go about life. And generally, you're going to be looking at people older than you, so it's like, hey, by the time I'm 30, 40, 50, whatever, I want to be at this stage just like this dude is. I'm going to look at the routes that he took to get there. And I think that's just the natural phenomenon of life. So ultimately what I'm saying is that it's people who are using the fact that comparison is said to be the killer of all joy, aspiration, and achievement are losers, for lack of a better word. And it's just like you need to reevaluate how you're looking at things, because you do need to be comparing yourself to others constantly. With that being said, though, I understand how difficult it is to just maybe not even, it's not even you're not willingly looking at other people and comparing yourself, and then, you're killed of all achievement, and you're in sorrow, you're like, I suck compared to all these other people. I understand that because I've been through that. But I think it's a hump that you just got to get over. You got to be like, hey, this is where I'm at. There's no need to feel down on yourself ever, because of course there's going to be people in worse situations, and you should feel thankful for what you've been able to do and what you've been provided with. But always be looking up. Comparison is not the killer of all joy and achievement. Comparison is what leads you to further joy and further achievement. Sorry I stuttered on that. I thought that was going to be a good line, but yeah. Let me know what you guys think about that. I know it was a little vague. It's kind of hard to be specific on this topic, but yeah, let me know what y'all think. Hope y'all have a good night or day or whatever time it is. Hey y'all, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm just adding a little bit more because there's a touch more to this game here, but I think this is something I'm going to come back to. I feel like I didn't fully cover it, but it's super interesting, and I feel like it's something that requires a little more discussion than what I gave it. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a good day or night or whatever it is, but see ya.